The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Dean's Beans Organic Coffee, a locally based, worker-owned company committed to social and environmental responsibility, roasting fair trade, organic, shade-grown coffee since 1993. DeansBeans.com. The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Northeast Solar in Hatfield, offering personalized solar energy solutions and ongoing customer care, proudly serving communities throughout the Pioneer Valley. Northeast-solar.com.
Welcome to the Fabulous 413. I'm Khalees Smith.
And I'm Monty Belmonte. Later in the show, we'll meet Portuguese winemaker Filipa Pato and chef William Wouters, who's been innovating practices and reinvigorating a love of native varietals.
And sit with musicologist, musician, and MacArthur Grant recipient Corey Harris before you get... Kids might meet him at his Springfield residency, or you might meet him at his concert at Bombyx in Florence on Friday.
But first, a new way for you to understand a little more of what those kids are saying,
without having to embarrass yourself by asking them directly.
What's new with you?
Recovering from winter break.
Did you do anything fun?
Yeah, we did. I took a bunch of half days. We went to Berkshire East. I skied for the first time in a few years, and that was really nice.
Nice.
Yeah, we went to the Northampton Arcade.
Oh, yeah, the one at
Thorns. I
played
Mario Kart for the first time in my life.
Are you good at it?
No, but it was super fun.
Join our club. I am so bad at that game. And for a while, I had roommates where that was the only game they ever wanted to play. And I'm like, clearly, you don't want me to play with you, so I'm going to go do something else.
I'm also terrible at that game. And one time it induced a ocular migraine to the point where it made me lose my vision. And then made my mom take me immediately to the emergency room because nobody knew what was going on. Emily Brewster, resident wordster from Merriam-Webster, our dictionary in Springfield. First of all, I was at State Street Fruit Store Deli Wines and Spirits, and one of the employees there was taking umbrage with English and saying that he had a lot of questions about when to use I versus me, and I said, send in the question to thefab413 at nepm.org and we'll ask it. And I said, but I know what Emily Brewster's going to say, which is probably just relax and don't be so judgy, because Shakespeare probably did it 400 years ago. However, slang is something that does raise the eyebrows of the highfalutin, but it's something that
stop using it.
Particularly
you ain't gotta.
ain't a word. I heard that so many times as a child, and it ain't is not in the dictionary.
Ain't totally is in the dictionary.
Guess what it is. So let's talk about slang and what is piquing your interest about slang this week, Emily Brewster.
Also, wouldn't that sentence be better? Ain't is not in the dictionary. Shouldn't it be that?
We used to say a poem when I was a kid. Ain't a word, and it ain't in the dictionary, and I ain't gonna say it no more. Did you say that one?
No, is there another line that rhymes with that?
No, it's not really a rhyming poem. It's really just it's free verse, Monty.
I get it.
Well, at the Merriam-Webster.com website, you know that most of the time you're looking up words in what is, in truth, a kind of formal dictionary, not unlike a traditional dictionary. It's not bound by space constraints the way that print dictionaries are, but the words that are entered in the Merriam-Webster.com dictionary are still required to meet the same criteria that words have been required to meet for as long as we've been making our dictionaries. We want significant evidence of a word in use coming from a variety of sources and over an extended period of time. Now, all of those criteria have flexibility in them because it's necessary if you want to keep up with things like the word COVID-19, which got in, I think, after 19 days.
The irony.
Yeah.
But still, those three things are what we are always looking for. But there is a new section at Merriam-Webster.com that is slang. So if you go to m-w.com or Merriam-Webster.com, and you look at the very top, you will see a tab that is called, you will see an identifier that is slang. And if you click on that, you will find all kinds of words that have not really formal definitions. They have a specific treatment. So the entry doesn't look the same as it does on the official pages of the Merriam-Webster.com dictionary. But there's a definition, there's pronunciation, there's a part of speech, and then there's an explanation, some examples of it and where this slang word comes from.
This is awesome. This is brand new.
Yes, it's quite new. It's quite new.
I can't believe the Bombaclot is on this.
Let's start there then. Since Khalees is so delighted by it. Bomboclat. What does that word mean?
This is not a polite word.
No.
So in American English, it doesn't carry the same wrapping of entendre that it carries in Jamaican English.
Or in British, where like there is a lot of Jamaican British residents. I've definitely seen it mostly with UK folks using it, and definitely using it both in the vulgar term and in the slightly modified term where it kind of means awesome.
What does bomboclat mean according to the Merriam-Webster New Slang Dictionary?
It's defined as a versatile Jamaican vulgarism. And then it goes on to say that it's basically analogous to the F word. And then it is also used as a slang term for something just weird or excellent, especially on the internet.
Well, the F word is versatile, as we have talked about before.
Yes.
We can still say bomboclat on the radio without getting in trouble, I think, though. For now.
For now.
Yeah. So there's like a homepage where there's just some random selection of interesting new slang words at merriam-webster.com. And 41 is up there. A nonsense expression used by teens. So in all of 2025, all the kids said 6, 7, and we've moved on to 41. Is this real?
It's because they don't understand the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
Which is 42, as kids of our generation know. But
Yes.
41 is a nonsense expression used by teens?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Sorry to say it. This one comes from a song by the rapper Blitzy Boy. And he apparently enumerates a number of things that he owns and gets up to the number 41.
41 cap, 41 back.
Okay.
I don't know if this one is a hand motion. I think it does not.
I love that this also shows a bit of how slang is shifting, because you have the word bop on here, which definitely means something different from the last time that bop came to prominence in public zeitgeist.
Yeah, what is the bop you're thinking of, Khalees?
The bop I am thinking of refers to a song. Like, that's a
Right.
bop.
That is a bop. You would use it sort of like a noun, like a song that you like. But
Yeah, and that is actually a pretty new use of a bop. There's also bop somebody on the head,
Yes.
for example.
Right.
Right?
Like Little
picking
Bunny
up the
Foo
field
Foo.
mice and bopping them on the head.
Exactly.
Is that the version of Little Bunny Foo Foo we all know?
There's also been bebop and other types of, bop as a
Yes.
musical term, but that is not how it is listed on the New Slang Dictionary at Merriam-Webster. What does it mean now?
It's an offensive term for someone who is seen as promiscuous, and especially for a young woman who is seen as promiscuous.
Just what we need. Another misogynistic term.
Well, I mean, we are really good at this.
Yes.
Plus, especially in an era where using more commonly known words of that nature would have to be bleeped out or in some way censored, you may not have to do that with bop, which means your point is still getting across and you didn't have to censor it.
Khalees, that is exactly right. And that actually gets at the really the most important thing that makes something a slang word. And that is that it is known by a limited group of people. It is a way of having a coded language so that people on the outside don't know what it is and people on the inside. Of course, then a company like Merriam-Webster comes along and just defines it all there for you. And it sort of does maybe take a little bit of the slang out of the slang.
It was like when the former quarterback and CBS football analyst Tony Romo said that the New England defense was DTF, which he defined on air as details, toughness, and they finish, which is not how anybody who knows what that stands for
No one listening
took
to that.
it. But my dad heard it exactly as the way Tony Romo explained it, while it was sort of like an inside joke to everyone else who was watching in real time and went, whoa!
Oh, gosh, he's going to explain it?
Yeah, and guess what? I can't explain it on the radio or I'll get in trouble unless I explain it like Tony Romo.
This team is DTF, Jim. Patriots, details, toughness, and they finish.
Talk about the decision of Merriam-Webster to include a slang dictionary, because you've often quoted other slang dictionaries on this show. You have some favorites I know of, right?
Oh, yeah. I am a big fan of Green's Dictionary of Slang, which is free online. It's an absolutely astonishing resource, and people should definitely check it out. But we see what people look up at merriam-webster.com, and often people are looking up words that don't yet meet our criteria for entry. So we wanted a way to address those terms while still staying true to this distinction that we make between words that have become fully adopted into the language and words that have not yet.
Okay, so there's one, the top of the headline headline, the top of the fold, to make myself sound much older, is a word to describe older people, gruz, old or older people. So I'm going to regular old Merriam-Webster.com and I'm typing in the search bar gruz and see where it takes. It does say at the top of it, slang and trending, gruz, plural noun, old or older people. So you don't have to just select the slang part of the dictionary. If you type it in the regular search engine, it'll automatically direct you to that too.
When you type it in the search bar, you will see that it actually tells you that it's in the slang category. So if you type, do you see your little search box?
Yeah.
Type gruz in there or mog, and you'll see in the drop-down menu that there's slang. Now, if you type bop in to that search box, you will see that there are some dictionary entries, a slang entry, and two thesaurus entries for bop.
Oh, the internet. See, it still has some good things that go with it. You mentioned mog, since you did. What does mog mean in the slang of the now?
It's a kind of goofy term, and it means to look or perform far better than someone else. It can be glossed as like to outclass someone.
You have examples, this one from Tara Price from Neon Music. With the rise of social media where everyone is constantly sizing up everyone else, the desire to mog or not be mogged has seeped into daily life. Speaking of mog, also I just noticed for the first time, you have a top lookups right now section with like a top 10 list. And the one right now, it's not mog, but it's Chargagagog, Manchagagog, Chabunagungamog, which is the lake in Webster, Massachusetts, not far from right here, which is the longest geographical name in, we say the English language because it's come over to the English language, but that is not the language it started out in. It's an indigenous name, and it's awesome. I'm psyched that that's the word that people are looking up most right now.
I know. Do you remember it was in our top lookups for the year for 2025, and it's because of its appearance in a game. People are working hard to know how to spell this word, which I also feel like says something really positive about the internet. We've got to take these little glimmers of hope there wherever we can, that people are challenging themselves to master the spelling of this word.
I don't know what it means that the next words are first is second, banana is third, and bootylicious is fourth. My body's too bootylicious because I
don't think you're ready for that, Jelly.
I'm a bop.
You're not ready for that, Jelly.
I don't think you're ready for this. My body too bootylicious for your back.
Or am I a chud, which is another one that's on that
I
page.
love that this is on here.
Yeah.
I have a few slang words that I have noticed that I actually learned in the course of my work with this section of the dictionary. Have you heard the term low-genuinely?
No, but does that mean like in a low-key way?
It does.
Wow.
It means like genuinely and low-key. Like I'm going to be low-key genuine about this.
Low-genuinely.
And not low-key like L-O-K-I, right? This is also the term low-key being used in this way is also pretty new, like past 10 years or so, I would say.
Subtly maybe is a good way to say low-key.
Yeah, I don't want to make a big deal about this.
Low-genuinely?
Yeah, I wondered at first when I just saw the word if it had something to do with Barbie. Because Ken was really big for a while.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm just kidding.
I think that one's an interesting one.
I was expecting there to be a secondary definition of brick underneath the cold, but it's not there. I'm surprised.
Well, so if you go to the search bar again.
Yes.
And you put in brick, there's also the entry for brick, which has a number of different meanings.
I was looking for the verb version of brick for when like an electronic something that you have stops working.
Oh, yeah, you should.
And there it is at sense 2, to render
Yes.
an electronic device such as a smartphone non-functional, as by accidental damage, malicious hacking, or software changes.
Oh, yeah.
But do you both know the term brick meaning cold?
Yeah.
No. There's brick. Extremely cold used of weather. This winter has been brick. Is that how I
This
would
winter
say it?
has been brick. Yeah. Now, this use of brick is newly expanded. It started in New York City with mostly Black Americans using this term brick to mean very cold. But now it's become, we've got evidence of it still, I think, mostly in the Northeast, although some of these are national publications.
It's
So-
wicked brick.
Yeah, wicked brick.
Yeah.
Monty, I think you're going to like this. Khalees, you might like it too. Have you ever heard the slang term fridge cigarette?
Yeah, we talked, but only
about
because
this.
of you.
Yeah.
Oh,
But if people missed that episode, Emily Brewster from Merriam-Webster, tell us what a fridge cigarette is.
it is a cold, refreshing, and addictive soft drink. I think this one is so funny.
I like that too.
It is delightful.
I've been having my ginger lime mule polar seltzers
They're the best
as
flavor.
my fridge cigarettes. Right next to it in the new slang dictionary at Merriam-Webster is a version of the word fridge that I'm not familiar with, which is to kill or harm a character in a movie or show.
Oh, yeah.
To
That one
motivate another.
There's a whole thing about fridging women, especially in genre fiction, to motivate some character into doing something else. You'll say that, like, this person got fridged. Like, we talk about it with Buffy, because Buffy fridges Willow's girlfriend to motivate her.
Tara gets killed, but whatever. We won't go into the details of the Buffyverse.
There's even a book that looks at this phenomenon that's really excellent.
Yeah. Now, as this article mentions, the writer Gail Simone in 1999 published a list of over 100 comic book characters, all of whom were women, who were killed, injured, tortured, etc. And the name of the website was Women in Refrigerators.
Wow. And so is that where it comes from?
Yeah.
Well, there was an issue of Green Lantern where the superhero finds that his girlfriend has been murdered by a villain and stuffed in a refrigerator.
Wow.
Gail Simone herself was an editor at DC for years, working on a lot of the Batman properties until she was unceremoniously let go because of patriarchy, mostly.
They fridged her career.
Well, she's still awesome and does appearances and stuff.
Well, that's good. I was just celebrating Twin Peaks Day yesterday, where they fridged Laura Palmer on the evening of February 23rd.
I mean, it starts the whole series.
She's dead, wrapped in plastic.
It's what the whole series is about. It's always and only been about Laura Palmer.
Laura is the one.
Anyway.
Here's another one
Yes.
that I think is just very, very funny. Buns.
Yes.
Meaning bad or terrible or of poor quality. It's like, did you see that movie? It was Buns.
In case your parents are like a little offended by you saying butts, you get to say buns instead, and it means the same thing.
I might say it's butt,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't say it's butts.
It's butts.
That's heated rivalry.
Oh my God, Hollander.
Butts.
Wow.
But it's not butts. It's whatever new word for good is in slang.
Which is not buns.
No.
Buns is bad.
Buns of steel.
But bumclad.
Thinking of talking about buns of steel, there's also a new term, steel man. This is in contrast to straw man, as in a straw man argument. So there's also a steel man argument. A straw man, in a context where people are debating something, it's a weak or imaginary opposition that's set up so that you can easily refute it. And a steel man is a strong or effective opposition that you use to test or challenge your own rhetorical position.
A Superman. A man of steel.
A man of steel. Exactly.
You are Superman, aren't you?
Lois, look, we've been through these hallucinations of yours before.
This is a lot of fun.
It is fun.
Do you have one more favorite one before we wrap this up, Khalees?
I was just like looking on the second page and came across Kavanaugh Stop, and I'm like, oh, wow.
Maybe we should leave that up to the listener to go and look up themselves.
Go look yourself. Find your own. Use it in a sentence today. Also a fan of Gravy Seal.
Oh, yes, Gravy Seal. Gravy Seal is like a Navy SEAL, but not. It's a term of mockery for a right-wing paramilitary type. That's what the definition says there.
Oh, see, I also explained to the person at State Street that it's not the dictionary's job to assign value judgment to any of these words or way words are being used. It's simply their job to chronicle it.
And frankly, some of these definitions are fantastic. Like the one for FAFO, which is an expression of warning or schadenfreude, which is a fantastic way to make what that actually means more palatable to people who don't use expletives.
Oh, but I love using that particular expletive. It's so much fun. But FAFO is the safer way to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Emily Brewster, our resident wordster from Merriam-Webster, for showing us this new part of Merriam-Webster.com, the Slang Dictionary.
Yeah, well, it's fun sharing them with you.
And if you have a question for the Word Nerd, you can send it to us, thefab413 at nepm.org, and we'll ask the Word Nerd.
Thank you, Monty. Thank you, Khalees.
Coming up, live music with the multi-Afro-diasporic musician Corey Harris.
But first, we head to Northampton to chat with the innovative and inspirational winemaker Philippa Pato and taste through a few of the bottles she's stewarded.
You're listening to The Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by the UMass 5 College Credit Union, dedicated to creating access to financial well-being for local people, businesses, and communities. Insured by NCUA, umass5.coop.
We generally don't drink wine on the radio on Wednesdays, but this is a special occasion. Way to go, Benson.
People are popular.
Yeah, you were very excited about making this happen, please.
Yes, Dynamic is one of my favorite labels right now. I discovered sometime in the early winter that I have a vertical of the Baga, which has become one of my favorite wines. And then Tony let me know that their winemakers were coming to visit. I'm like, we have to talk to them. And I will try my best to be cool about it.
And that is exactly what we're doing. So we are at Provisions Northampton, where tomorrow you can meet the winemaker behind these wines and get your bottle signed. And then on Friday at the Mill District in Amherst, there is a Women in Winemaking event as well with Provisions, and we are here with the winemakers.
Filipa Pato.
You're the one behind these dynamic wines, and as are you.
William Waters, I'm the bodyguard.
You are a married couple, but you're both the winemakers, right? To a certain degree? Yeah. You do the what does he do then? Just he's an albatross.
Winemaker is the grape. I'm just the grower. I grow the grapes. We guide the vineyards to make the best grapes. We work in an ecosystem, balanced ecosystem, not only vineyards, but forests around. We have fig trees, we have bushes, we have animals as well to create a pure grape. Then in the winery, it's just easy to do. It's just to control what they bring from the vineyard, authentic wines without makeup.
And your vineyards are in Portugal. Where specifically?
In Bairrada, central north of Portugal, in between Coimbra and Porto. So we are in Atlantic side, so we are just 15 kilometers from the Atlantic.
Which is like, what, 100 miles?
One of the coolest things, I think, is that she's been encouraging native grapes especially, which a lot of folks on this side of the ocean haven't necessarily encountered for Portugal.
We talk a lot about Portuguese wine on the show because it's one of the places where the most interesting things are happening and it's still very affordable. So what are some of those native grapes that we'll be tasting right now?
In reds, we only work with Baga. That is a fantastic grape for Bairrada. It exists there for many, many years. We're lucky to have vineyards, centenary vineyards, over 150 years old. We have even one vineyard planted in 1864 before phylloxera arrived. So it's a very special grape, and it really adapts well to this climate. We're very privileged to have this grape who really reflects the terroirs of Bairrada. So in reds, only Baga. In whites, we work with Bical. Arinto. Arinto is very common in Portugal. You probably have some Arinto from other producers in other regions. Adapts very well on the limestone soil like we have and the Atlantic climate. And we have Cercial, Maria Gomes as well. So in whites, we work with 4 grape varieties. So we make the Bical Arinto, this wine. Dinamica we're going to taste. And the Blanc de Blanc is a blend of Bical, Cercial, Maria Gomes. And then we have also a Nossa white that is a pure Bical from a vineyard you have in front of our house on Limestone Hill, facing the Caramulo mountain. That is a very important mountain for Bairrada. It's all wines with a strong identity.
Well, these wines are brought here to Provisions by Oz Wine Company, and my Turner's Falls brethren here, Adam, is bringing the wines here. Where should we start with this?
Let's start with the sparkling white wine, the 3B, and this is Method Champenois, a blend of Bical and Arinto.
And Maria Gomes.
It's cool that there's a grape called Maria Gomes. It's like drinking a person.
It's the name of a lady. In fact, most of the grapes in Portugal, they adopt the name of the person who found it. So, in fact, Maria Gomes is the name in the north is Maria Gomes, in the south is Fernão Pires. So it's the same grape, but different names.
Different people found it?
Yes, different people found it, you know. And our youngest son is Fernão because we like the grape so much. And, Fernão de Magalhães was also a very important discovery of Portugal.
We should name more grapes after people. Dave Pinot Grigio.
Wow.
So I've not had the other two, but I have had your sparkling wines before, and I am a huge sucker for sparkling wines. I can't quit them, no matter how hard I try. It's the category I go back to most, and this one in particular is delicious. Recommended by Khalees to me when I pulled it off the shelf a couple months ago.
I have already said I am a fan.
Yeah. And we're at Provisions Northampton, where tomorrow you have a chance to meet the winemaker, Filipa Pato, who joins us right now and is behind these 3B sparkling wines. Tell us about this first Blanc de Blanc.
So it's a traditional method. We ferment the grapes together with the spontaneous yeast. We don't inoculate. So it ferments, and then we bottle some months later, keep the contact on the lees, to have more structure, more authenticity. And then we leave 9 months minimum on the bottle. And is a sparkling wine with a nice texture, nice creaminess. We have limestone soil, so if you like champagne, it's a kind of connection. It's not Chardonnay and Pinot, but you have this connection with the soil that gives you a nice complexity.
And the acidity is the number one thing that jumps out to me right here. So you want some great food with this as well, but it's delicious on its own.
Lots of flowers on the bouquet.
Yeah.
We should mention, too, that William comes from the culinary world, and maybe you could say a word or two about the local cuisine from where these wines come from.
So as we are next to the Atlantic coast, we have a lot of fish. And I think the best fish of Europe is in Portugal. It's cold water, Atlantic Ocean. I don't have to tell you guys. You know,
we have that too.
You're our neighbors on the other side. So these wines combine very well with all the fatty fishes. We have the mackerel, the sardines, the herring. Fantastic with these things. And also you can combine it very well with the local dish, which is like suckling pig. So the suckling pig is a bit fatty, and then with the sparkling of nice acidity helps you to digest, right? So the more you eat, the more you drink. So it's fun, really.
And pigs, I think, are something that's very important to mention when you're talking to Philippa, because the pigs do a lot of the vineyard work for her.
Exactly. In fact, as I told you, we work very close to nature and try to create a perfect ecosystem. The pigs are so common in Bairrada because the traditional is to have the suckling pig. So we decided to put the pigs in the vineyard, and it was incredible help for us for the old vineyard. So they really work well around the vines. They look for roots. And as we have limestone soil, they cannot go too deep, so they don't damage the roots of the vines. So they fertilize and they live happy in the farm. So we use a lot of pigs and the sheep and the donkey. So we have different animals. The sheep, they eat the grass. The pigs, they dig. And the donkey, they protect the sheep.
Perfect.
This is awesome.
And then you end up with suckling pigs in the spring and the fall, right?
That's the new plan. We decided to make a kind of event in June and in November every year, where we serve our suckling pigs made by Dynamic Way, like the vineyards, created in the farm. So it's a very different taste because they're much more authentic.
Yeah.
They're smaller, but more tasty.
William, are you the one doing the cooking?
Yeah, I'll do part of the cooking. But the thing what Philippa forgot to mention is that when you put the female together with the male, it goes very fast. So it's 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days, 3 hours, and up they're there. So this is why we have to control them being together.
One of my most favorite wine lessons I ever got in regards to wine growing was from you, when me and Benson were fortunate enough to come visit a few years ago, and you showed me a technique that you were using in pest prevention involving planting of fennel.
In fact, fennel is a very important plant we have, spontaneous, and we propagate even more around our vineyards because fennel is a plant that attracts Cryptolaemus, that is an insect who is a predator of Cochenille, that is one of the plagues we have in Bairrada, in the vineyards. So we expanded a lot the fennel, and we planted also other bushes that helps to keep the birds and protect our vineyards as well. So we plant also a lot of fresh herbs that William can use in the kitchen, and we make infusion for the vineyards. We use biopesticides, plants that we have in the vineyards like oregano, fennel, aloe vera, that is very good for the sun protection. In the summer we extract the gel, we dilute in alcohol, and then we spray, and the vines are more protected for the heat days. We use a lot of plants that we have in our ecosystem, so we investigate a lot. Thanks to the University of Coimbra, we have a botanic specialist who works together with us, investigating all these plants to make essential oils. We also make a lot of essential oils from orange peel, that is a very good antifungic, and lemon peel. Citrics are really important to keep the fungus away in the risk period, that is May and June, is the period we have more pressure of fungus. So we work a lot with plants and seaweeds, and this way we can understand better our ecosystem, the land we are, and we believe that nature can protect nature if you don't disturb. So we need to help each other. The problem of vineyards in the past was it became monoculture. The problem of monoculture, you get more disease. So we try to go on the contrary. We avoid monoculture. We have vines, fig trees, all these bushes, all the cover crop, the animals, to create a balanced ecosystem, and then the vineyards get more resilient and they have less pressure of plagues.
It's the kind of thing that often forget about wine. You see it, it's fancy, maybe you think it's too expensive or above you, but it is farming. And we are learning about better ways to farm through winemakers and farmers like Filipa Pato in Portugal, who's here at Provisions in Northampton with us right now.
How much of your degree in chemical engineering helps with what you do on your vineyard?
Did you go to school for chemical engineering because you wanted to be a winemaker, or is it?
No, because I didn't know what to do. So I wanted to have a broad education to decide afterwards, you know. And in fact, a chemical engineer helps me to avoid chemicals. In fact, I'm more biochemical nowadays because of the plants. Also, it helps me chemical engineer because of the distillation of essential oils. So it's quite interesting to have a good base to be more free, in fact. I'm not a winemaker by the book.
What's the second wine we're drinking, Adam, from Oz?
This is the 3B Rosé.
This one has the bready yeastiness a little bit more than the other one did. That is my particular favorite thing about sparkling wines. What do you think, Benson, from Provisions?
Yeah, and I love this wine. It has really nice fruit to it, too. I like this release. This is a wine that is a little different. I think that's one of the things that sort of speaks to Filipa's winemaking, is that she makes the wine in the vineyard. So each vintage is different, and each vintage expresses itself differently. She's not trying to make the same exact wine every year. She's trying to really express what the year gave her. And I think this was a delicious year. Really good food wine. That's one of the things I like about her sparklers, is they have good acidity, good texture, and they're just like made to go with whatever William's willing to whip up in the kitchen.
What are you going to whip up for this one, William?
We make our traditional sausage bread with the meat of the pigs of the vineyards and with the dried herbs from the vineyards.
Yeah.
And combined with this is good, you know.
So yeah, we're inviting ourselves over for dinner in the future.
They've already said the suckling pigs come out in November, and I'm like, that's a much better Thanksgiving than the rest of us have planned.
I think you're right.
We are at the Dirty Truth tomorrow night as well. So after the bottle signing and tasting opportunity here at Provisions, from 3:30 to 5:30, we're going to move the party down the road to the Dirty Truth. They're going to have some regional cuisine, small plates, I think, available for us too, so we can try some of their interpretations of pairings, and that will be from 6 to 8 on Thursday.
Yeah, you can taste it here and then get a glass poured over there.
Get your bottle signed here at Provisions Northampton. And then there's a Women in Winemaking Festival on Friday at the Mill District in Amherst that you'll be a part of. No?
They're headed to Boston to FemFet, which is another big, very important new
all-women makers. So that's going to be a great event. Judith Beck will also be in attendance.
Nice.
Yeah.
She has the best wine labels.
They are cool.
They're like Bjork album covers.
Yeah, they are Bjork album covers.
Talk about the rise of women in wine and what your place in that is, maybe.
When I started in 2001, it was very hard to start as a woman. It was very hard, especially in a country like Portugal, very close and macho. The reason I started to export more wines and the reason I met my husband is Belgian is because I started to export. We sell 90% export. Nowadays, we have a lot of demand in Portugal because we became known outside. But in the beginning, it was so hard, was very hard. Nowadays, it's getting easier for the new generation, but it's still difficult. It's still more difficult to be a woman in wine than a man in Portugal. I don't know how it's in US, but in Portugal, it's more
It's different. It's probably difficult everywhere, yeah.
I just want to give a shout out to Filipa because she's one of the people that has really paved the way for the next generation of women in wine. And because she did such an incredible job and has created such incredible wines that now have a huge following around the world, it has opened a lot of doors. So big shout out to Filipa.
Thank you.
Beyond being a trailblazer for women in wine, specifically in Portugal, and with your approach to natural grape growing and winemaking, we met many other winemakers who said that you were not just an inspiration, but also a resource. People would call you up if they were approaching something that they didn't have the answer to, and were able to use your hard work to make their lives a little easier.
Yeah, you call a winemaking chemical engineer to make an orange spray to keep the fungus down or whatever.
That was actually going to be kind of my next question. Like, what changes have you seen since starting to do this method of winemaking in Portugal? Like, have you seen shifts with what people are planting, what people are retaining instead of like pulling up native vines?
I'm very proud to have a lot of young people going same direction in different regions, so it's great. We have some friends, even in Trás-os-Montes was a region nobody knew in the past. You know, they making wines on the very old vineyards, on big mountain areas. And it's beautiful to see also the approach more in viticulture, more in winemaking, less interventive. So I think it's very big wave of new people, and they see it's possible. You know, they really made the step because it's not easy to start from zero. I mean, you need to take care of the vineyard. You need to make the wine. You need to make the market. So we try to help them also with the distributors. I think it's very important, this community, to help each other.
And
Nighttime Will.
Hi.
Couldn't you? You just shout at people.
Yeah. One thing to add that Philippa hasn't talked about, but you're asking sort of like what are some of the changes that she's seen and implemented. And one of those is she's now using a drone to spray these infusions. So she makes these natural infusions using all the herbs and things that she has around her vineyards, and then is using a drone instead of people. The drone is a little bit more efficient in dispersing. She has all these other things planted within the vineyards. And so now that the drone is flying, it's a little bit higher and spraying all of the other things that are in the vineyard. She was telling me that even like the olive trees are producing a lot more. She's finding out all these things as she goes, and things are just getting better and better.
What's this next wine we're tasting?
This is the DNMC White, which is a blend of Bacal and Arinto.
This one has a cheesiness to it that I like. Almost like a sharp cheddar. Or all blue, coming near blue actually, but with like lemon rind.
I get the lemony, rindy pith thing, but I get like way more, almost like lily-like flowers. Like, you know how Asiatic lilies have like a lot of perfume coming off of them? Like something more akin to that.
I mean, there's sort of a creaminess to the texture, but then on the aromatics, there's a lot more of those sort of like savory spice.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of a lot of the things that are growing around these vines in the vineyard.
What do you think about this wine? Winemaker behind it, Philippa Pato.
This wine is 80% Bacal, 20% Arinto. So Bacal is more creamy, Arinto has more acidity. So it is a very nice blend because, of course, it tastes nice now, but you can keep it also in the bottle because it has a very nice aging capacity. You need to breathe a little bit because it's opening more and more with the air. Is a very interesting combination of two grapes, all grown in limestone soil. Is a little bit fermented in 10% in oak, so has always this more creamy texture. We bottle with some time on the lees, so it gets more this lees contact. We gives you more the cheese that you were mentioned. It's a wine who combine with so many things, the oysters, the cheese, a lot of... I think William can speak better about the combination with food.
I sold this in my restaurant as a Chablis from Lusitania 25 years ago because nobody knew about Portuguese white wine except Vinho Verde, right?
Yeah.
So I had to find an angle to get people's attention. And you can combine this with a lot of crudos also, in marinated fish. It's very versatile, this wine, because of the nice acidity.
It does have a little Chablis vibe to it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The minerality, I think.
Yep.
And since we're talking about the chemical engineering and Philippa's past, I think we should just mention quickly a little bit of William's past. So William, can you talk to us about your experience as a chef and maybe any professional high-level athletics that you might have been connected
yes,
to?
right. I remember hearing about this.
In a former life, I was the head chef of the Belgian national soccer team in Brazil in the European Championships, for the World Championships and the European. It was an interesting, experience in life, yes.
What do world-class soccer players like to eat?
They like to eat, but
whatever you make them.
Yeah, they're Belgians, they like to eat well.
It's not just waffles for these guys.
Or fries.
Yeah, fries. What's the last wine we're going to drink here?
This is a surprise special wine that William brought, so I'll let him introduce you to it.
Please.
So this is a bagger from 3 Centenary Vineyards. We brought in the suitcase.
Smuggled into the United States.
Yes, because it's not on the market yet. It's coming soon.
This one smells incredible.
This was just to frame it a little bit. It was called the best wine of Portugal by James Suckling. Number 1 and number 32 worldwide. That's the best value.
Yeah, James Suckling is not a pig. He's a wine reviewer, but there are suckling pigs that have to do with this wine.
The Suckling pig did all the work for us in these vineyards because this is it's all bush vines, really. You cannot go with a horse; you would break all the vines. It's not possible. So the pigs do the work for us.
That's amazing.
Wonderful, yeah.
It's a little funky. It's a little brambly.
It smells so good that I don't want to drink it. I just want to smell it forever and ever.
Again, in my former life, as I always said, Baga is a bit like Nebbiolo or Pinot Noir. Nebbiolo in a warm vintage and Pinot Noir in a cool vintage.
Oh, interesting.
I love the Baga. The Baga has become like one of my gateway wines for people who only drink whites. But this is like that cool older cousin that doesn't really hang out with you a lot in comparison to that.
He introduced you to Run DMC and Miles Davis when you were young?
Yes.
Yum.
This is amazing.
It's light and fresh and serious at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the advantage of having this ecosystem with the trees around the vineyards, all these fences, green fences, is that the alcohol is moderated. So the vineyards are more protected during summer. So in fact, this wine is 12.5, and the tannins are matured. That's why we are so fond of this ecosystem. Having a lot of trees around the vineyards is so important to keep the vineyards on the shadow in the summer, especially because summer is drier, and it's so important to have these trees to help them to connect. And vines, they connect with the trees. Very important to have resilient vines, to have maturation without irrigation, because we don't use irrigation at all. And the summer is so dry that it's so important to work well on the health of the vine, having them with the root system well established, healthy soil to create this wine that is pleasant but not high alcohol.
This is incredible. I love this.
Yeah, and just to reemphasize, I love the fact that she's able to get the ripeness and freshness and keep that low alcohol. It's like serious Burgundy.
Also, we have biodynamic Demeter certified,
Yeah.
which is also important for us. This was a big step, living in Portugal and then having a German certification coming in. A right line is a straight line in Germany. In Portugal, a straight line can bend a bit, and this was not possible with these people. So it helped us a lot as a system to get ourselves better organized. Also, it's fantastic.
It's a big deal to go through those hoops to become biodynamic certified, and some great winemakers do it, but don't go through all of the hoops to try to get that on the label, but this one does have it, so that's great.
It puts you into another network. We have a lot of Zooms with other producers from other countries and try to find solutions for everybody. And even in Portugal, we put a new input that using chestnut petals for wine instead of sulfites.
Oh, wow.
So the Demeter certification is using some of our inputs that we discover in Portugal, which
Chemical
is very
engineer.
interesting because it's not only Germany or Italy or France, but you can input things in the community of biodynamic world. So we still few in Portugal, but I hope in the future we get more and more people working biodynamic, because we have such a diversity also of plants that they don't have in Spain or in France or in Italy. We have specific plants. That's why it's so important to work closely with the botanic specialists. We have a catalog of all the plants we have in the vineyard, and we need to make tests together with the university, and this takes a lot of time, time investigation, but we believe in that, and I think is a lot to do in the future.
The way that we can recognize your wines, Filippa Pato, you have an iconic label, especially with the big picture on the sparkling wines. It's a lovely woman with her head tilted back in laughter. Is that you?
20 years ago.
I just saw you do it right now. It looks exactly like the picture on the label.
Like it's pretty recognizable.
Yeah.
And then I love that like the label for Dynamic has all of those plants that are in your vineyard represented in the typeface. It's really nice.
And a little picture of you laughing on there too.
Yes.
Well, thanks so much for coming here and spending so much time with us. And you can spend time with Filippa here at Provisions Northampton tomorrow evening, where she will be signing bottles 3:30 to 5:30, and then cross the street and go over to the Dirty Truth and hang out a little bit more.
So actually tonight we're going to be in Great Barrington at Half Rats Wine Bar in Great Barrington from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. in conjunction with the South Egremont Spirit Shop.
Oh, cool. So if you're listening on the other side of the mountains, you can go see her there tonight.
Please do.
Thanks again, both of you.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very much. I hope to have you in Bairrada.
Yes.
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 We're
please.
coming when pig season is happening.
Yeah.
Find more information of all the places that you can meet and chat with Filippa Pato, William Wooters, tomorrow through Provisions website, and for information about tonight's event at Half Rats, check out their Instagram page at I Am Half Rats.
And now we bring you the sounds of the incredible Corey Harris for an extra awesome Live Music Wednesday.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by the UMass Amherst School of Public Policy, offering in-person and online graduate programs in public policy and data analytics. Admissions now open at umass.edu/SPP.
Welcome back to the Fabulous 413. We are joined by Corey Harris, who began his career as a New Orleans street singer traveling throughout the southern U.S. and Cameroon. He's recorded many old songs of the blues tradition while also creating an original vision of the blues by adding influences from across the many stops in the African diaspora. With one foot in tradition and the other in contemporary experimentation, he's truly a unique voice in contemporary music.
He's performed and recorded and toured with many of the top names in music like B.B. King, Taj Mahal, Buddy Guy, R.L. Burnside, Ali Farka Touré, Dave Matthews Band, Tracy Chapman, Oludara, Wilco? Who? And others. He's released 20 albums and collaborates on many others, bringing those sounds even further.
In 2003, Harris was a featured artist and narrator of the Martin Scorsese film Feel Like Going Home, which traced the evolution of blues from West Africa to the southern U.S. In 2007, he was awarded a MacArthur Fellowship, commonly referred to as a Genius Award, from the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation.
He's currently in the middle of a 2-day residency at the Springfield Conservatory for the Arts here in Springfield, and on Friday, he'll be performing at the Bombyx Center for Arts and Equity in Florence. Let's start with some live music from our very special guest, Corey Harris.
I can't believe this happened.
I know. I'm so excited.
Won't be late. Just can't wait until I read my black woman gate. Well, I won't be late. Just can't wait until I read my black woman gate. To driving rain and sleet or snow, follow my baby no matter where she go. Well, I won't be late. Just can't wait until I read my black woman gates. Well, I won't be late. Just can't wait until I read my black woman gate. Moon rising high and the corn it grow. Follow my baby no matter where she go. Well, I won't be late. Just can't wait until I read my black woman. Well, I won't be. Just can't wait until I read my black woman. Yeah. Woo! Won't be late. Just can't wait until I read my black woman gate. 6 shaggy puppies, 1 old mangy hound. Take all them dogs just to run my rider down. Well, I won't be late. I just can't wait until I read my black woman gate. Well, I won't be late. Just can't wait until I read my black woman. Well, I won't be late. Just can't wait until I read my black woman gate.
Oh my God.
Woo!
That just happened.
That is amazing. The legendary Corey Harris joins us live in studio for Live Music Wednesday. Corey is performing live at Bombyx on Friday, where you can go see him, but it's spending today and tomorrow in the Springfield Conservatory of the Arts with some of the kids.
You're looking at me, but it's just one of those times where I've been looking at, like, every time we bring in, like, guitarists that I admire, I just look at their hands and go, how?
I do the same thing.
Yeah, and you can see the worn out part of the finger pick.
Yeah.
Plate, right?
Only a 12-year-old guitar, too.
Yeah. So you're finger picking that one. You're not using a pick like some people may be familiar with a guitar. Right, yeah. Tell us about where you first fell in love with the blues.
Ooh, well, I guess just
lean into that microphone a little bit.
Right, coming from a Southern family, you know, my mother comes from Texas, and I got relatives in Kentucky, Louisiana, Arkansas. So I first heard the blues at like house parties at home when the adults would get together and have a good time, and they would play records. So the first artist I heard that I knew was the blues was ZZ Hill, Down Home Blues. Yeah, and then after that, my stepfather was a big B.B. King fan. So when I was 11, they took me to see B.B. King, and I got to shake his hand. He gave me a guitar pick.
Wow, that's cool.
You know, so and then years later, I was opening up for him. So.
Wow.
When you first heard that blues, were you already a musician and then decided?
I was.
Yeah.
I was playing trumpet in the marching band and baritone, and I was dabbling on the guitar. Yeah.
Why make the move to guitar entirely? Was it easier to write blues on guitar than to stay in horns and brass where you had started?
Well, you know, I was a horn player. I was still in school, in public school. I stopped playing horn around, I was about 12 or 13. So I wasn't really composing yet, but what drew me to the guitar was the whole idea that I could sing and play at the same time, which you can't do with horn, of course. Yes. And then the guitar is like a portable orchestra as well, so you could really get your composer chops in order on the guitar in a way you couldn't on the horn, you know.
That is the legend Corey Harris. I want to call him a genius, and I can because he's a MacArthur Genius Grant. I don't want it to go to your head, but I'm sure you're used to it by now. It's been almost 20 years. Yeah. We're also joined in the studio by the director of the Springfield Conservatory of the Arts, Marcos Carreras, as well as Kristen Neville from Blues to Green, who puts on the Springfield Jazz and Roots Festival. We've been in touch all this week, very excited about Corey coming to town. Kristen, what's your relationship with Corey and Blues to Green's involvement in all of this?
So Blues to Green, through our Legacy Education project, is hosting Corey's residency at the conservatory. And I had connected with Cassandra at Bombix because Corey was going to be performing there and everything aligned. We were able to connect with Marcos, and the timing was right for it all to come together.
That's great.
What have the kids been like? I mean, you're only a day into this 2 days.
Oh, it was an intense day. It was an intense day. He has a lot to share.
But are kids, do you find that the kids that you end up talking to are really receptive to the blues? Because I'm always curious about that.
Yeah, today, well, I guess this is a special case. So these are children, young adults, I should say, who are already well-versed in music. They already have an idea of what their musical identity is, what they want to do, what they're good at. So for me, it was humbling to meet all these very passionate, very exceptional young people who are really good at what they do, you know, and then to be able to be in this environment. It was my dream as when I was their age to be able to go to some creative school and, you know, be under the tutelage of all these different teachers, you know, so I just had to do it the hard way and just listen to music and get it where I could, you know. So it was great just to see how excited they are, and really it gave me hope. You ask about the next generation. To see these young people gives me hope, because I realized, and a part of this was sitting with them today, I realized that each generation navigates the blues, translates the blues in their own way according to what they're dealing with at the time. And listening to the lyrical content and things they were singing with, I realized, okay, this is the now. This is what's going on now. And the blues has always been about the now. Like when we listen to, say, Robert Johnson or Booker White, Son House, they weren't old men at the time. They were young men, 19, 20 years old. They were playing the hot music of their day, you know. So listening to these young people made me feel like, okay, the blues can be hot again. You know, we can bring in what's real with the young people, and so they can really communicate to others.
You worked with the kids on creating an original blues song today, right?
Yeah, I'm working on it, yeah.
So what are they writing about? What do they have the blues about at the Springfield Conservatory?
There's a lot.
A lot of love songs, you know, a song about ice. A song about being black in a white world. So yeah, just some of the things like love. Of course, we always need love songs in the blues. That goes with it. But I like that they even went beyond that and really using the blues as a tool for protest to talk about what's going on right now. And they all have, you know, different experiences with ice and, you know, the things that are going on today. So.
Yeah, and one of the great things that we did, we started with a large group challenge, and it was open-ended. We broke them up into groups of 7, and they had to come up with their own original lyrics, 3 stanzas and a hook, and then they had to play instruments with it. And then after lunch, we presented everything as a group, and then we divided them into even larger groups for the second hour. And then they had to come up with singing of the lyrics. They had to dance to it and play instruments.
All in front of Corey Harris.
All in front of Corey Harris and present in front of the kids.
They didn't even worry about it.
And it was magical. And having this opportunity to work with such a legend such as Corey Harris and working with the Blues to Green Foundation and Christian Neville, it's become a tradition at our school. And we're so lucky to be able to host, Grammy artists and Tony Award-winning artists at our school every month. And this specific visit is so unique on a global stage because they don't have blues in their life.
Really?
Right? And so
did you work with them in advance to introduce them to Corey and the blues in general?
Exactly. I had to talk about formula. We had to talk about the historical context, from the Reconstruction era, 1967 up, and how it's evolved from regional. And I learned today that there's, blues idioms from Florida and Kentucky and Virginia. That was beyond my wildest comprehension. So we were talking about finding a way to archive this, all of his history. And, we talked about self-promotion as well. But the biggest part is
Marcos is the greatest hype man.
Exactly. I told him I'm for hire. But the idea is to give these next generation understanding in context to which they can relate to it. And they took it and ran with it in ways that I'd never even thought possible. And that's all because of his teaching. We were so blessed to have him. We're very lucky.
I'm blessed to be with you all.
No, we should.
Should we do a song and then take a break?
Sure.
Let's do it. We're going to try to fit 3 songs in because Corey Harris is here. Come on. So let's do another song here on Live Music Wednesday, the Fabulous 413 with Corey Harris. We'll be at Bombyx on Friday and is in residency right now at the Springfield Conservatory of the Arts.
All right, well, this tune is my tribute song to Edward Snowden. It's called Watching You. Watching you and they watching you and they watching you. Who you talking to and they watching you. They're even listening to and they watching you. Watching me and you. My eyes on you while you watching what I do. Everywhere I go, even who I be talking to. Well, them slavery days, who no remember when them chains and shackles, remember when time come again where they're watching you and they're watching you and they're watching you. Who you talking to and they're watching you. They're even listening to and they're watching you. Watching me and you. Hey. I can congregate. Don't want Bobo Shanty to meditate. It is I they violate. Even I they designate. For what, Bobo? For investigation and prosecution. What else? So much separation in every nation where they're watching you and they watching you and they're watching you. Who you talking to and they're watching you. They're even listening to and they're watching you. Watching me and you. Watching you, watching you. They are listening to. Hey. One day the powers that be, where they all gonna flee. Even now the fire's getting hotter, and there will be no more water. And my brother Nestor wrote the line, say they can't stop the time, earthquake and fire, they go find. Well, they're gonna find, yeah, where they're watching you and they're watching you and they're watching you. Who you talking to and they're watching you. They're even listening to and they're watching you. Watching and they're watching you and they're watching you and they're watching you. Who you talking to and they're watching you. They're even listening, watching me and you. They are listening. They are watching. They are listening. Say they be watching you.
Wow. The legendary Corey Harris live in studio here in the fabulous 413. You can see him live on Friday at Bombyx in Florence. And if you happen to be a student at the Springfield Conservatory of the Arts, you're going to hang out with him all day tomorrow like you did today. We'll take a quick little break and come back more with Corey Harris and Kristen Neville and Marcos Carreras.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
Welcome back to the Fabulous 413. We are joined live in the studio by the legendary blues guitarist Corey Harris, as well as Marcos Carreras from the Springfield Conservatory of the Arts, and Kristen Neville from Blues to Green.
Do you want to disclose now?
Oh, they're an underwriter for the show on Friday at Bombyx, where you can go see Corey Harris live, but that's not why we invited him here.
I mean, if
It's
you have
'cause
the
he's
chance to have Corey Harris in
amazing.
studio,
Yes.
you bring Corey Harris to the studio.
Underwriter or not.
You've been across, like, through a large portion of the African diaspora and, like, collecting sounds and incorporating them into your music. But, like, which one resonated with you enough to change how you write?
Ooh, very good question. I would guess Malian music in general, Bambara music, and also Songhai music. I spent a lot of time with Ali Farka Touré, and I also play with Sheikh Kamala Diabate, Baseku Kuyate, different players. And so, even though I don't speak Bamana, the way that I sing and the way I play guitar has been very much influenced by how they play over there. You know, yeah.
And is that something you're bringing to the kids at the Springfield Conservatory, where, you know, the African roots of the blues?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And what is their take on that?
I mean, they seem to take it for granted. They don't see it as anything controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why would it be controversial?
No, yeah, but they can hear it, they can recognize it, and they appreciate it?
I mean, you did win a Genius grant to go and look into how those things are connected. Not that any sort of, like, transatlantic travel would have not disclosed how they're connected.
Right. You also worked with Billy Bragg and Wilco on Mermaid Avenue, and they're, for the first time ever, performing the Mermaid Avenue things at Solid Sound in June. Now, the way that you just looked at me when I said that makes me believe you're not going to be there.
No,
I'm going to pull some strings.
Okay,
Because we're supposed to be there broadcasting live. You got to come and play with them. Hoodoo Voodoo, I think, is one that you had a lot of a handle in. And if the story is correct, Natalie Merchant put you in their orbit, too.
That's right.
So, yeah, you
That's
worked
right.
with
And
awesome
Nora
greats.
Guthrie was there with us. We
Yeah.
recorded it in Dublin.
Nice.
And she told us all kind of stories about her father, what it was like having Woody Guthrie as a father. You know, what it was like having Bob Dylan come in and sing for Woody Guthrie on his deathbed.
Yeah.
And Bob Dylan was basically cosplaying Woody Guthrie at that time.
Right.
And she said it was very strange. And the whole family was like, what the hell? You know, it's very unnerving, you know. So it's just stories like that you would have never got from anybody else.
Wow.
You know?
Well, let's hear another song before we run out of time, and then maybe we'll be able to chat even a little bit more at the end.
Yay.
Well, this is a song written by the great Skip James. It's called Devil Got My Woman. Rather I be the devil to be that woman, man. Well, I'd rather I be the devil to be that woman, man. Well, I lay down last night, I laid and I tried to take my rest. But my mind got to rambling like the wild geese from the west. My baby don't drink no whiskey, she don't drink no whiskey. and my girl ain't crazy about wine. It was nothing but the devil. She done chained my baby mind. Well, I may be right, I may be right, I may. And then again, I may be wrong. It was nothing but the devil. Well, the woman that I love, the woman that I love, stole her from my best friend. Well, you know, he got lucky, stole her back again. Stole her back again.
The legendary Corey Harris, live in the studio with us, playing at Bombyx on Friday in Florence and doing a residency at the Springfield Conservatory of the Arts, which is directed by Marcos Carreras and has been supported by Blues to Greens, which Kristen Neville is part of. And I know your husband was a big believer in going into the schools and taking his legendary music and sharing it with a younger generation, which is beautiful that this continues.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What was it like playing the blues in Maine when you were at Bates?
Well, you know, I was so much younger, you know, so I wasn't as advanced with the blues, but I was writing my own blues songs that were kind of like between blues and jazz, and I was playing with other musicians. There's a brother that I was friends with at the time. He's a playwright in Philly now named Ozzie Jones, and we played a lot together at Bates together, and yeah, but it was you know, it's a different environment, you know, it's a collegiate environment, Maine, small town, so yeah, I can't really say it was the same blues that I'm playing now. A little different. little different.
And that was before you explored the African continent musically too, right?
What do you say?
Was that before you had went to Cameroon?
Yeah, Bates. I was at Bates for 3 years, and I went to Africa in my junior year, and then I went back again after I graduated for a year.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well,
so cool.
Corey Harris is going to bring all of that wisdom and the ancient tradition of the blues
and all of that melody. Like, it's the melody in your blues is something that is incredibly unique.
Oh, thank you so much.
And the way that you incorporate the different rhythms and things like that, it's really remarkable. And you have an opportunity to see it on Friday at Bombyx, and I can't wait to hear what the kids think tomorrow, day 2 of the residency at the Springfield Conservatory of the Arts. Marcos Carreras from the Springfield Conservatory, Kristen Neville from Blues to Green, and the legendary genius Corey Harris, who's been joining us in the studio. Thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure. Thank you. It's an honor.
So good. On the next Fabulous 413, we're going to Conway to celebrate the beginning of Mass Maple season at Boyden Brothers Maple.
And our weekly chat with U.S. Congressman Jim McGovern. If you've got a question for the congressman, you can send it our way, thefab413@nepm.org, and we'll ask him. I'm Monty Belmonte.
I'm Khalil Smith. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Fabulous 413.